dream today.
There is an unalterable law governing everything.
Inspiration is what happens when we experience the truth behind the mind. Most people are so caught up worrying about the future or trying to improve upon the past that they're not present. Inspiration is what happens when we're able to tap into that state of presence that everyone has but is usually overlooking because of the stresses of daily living. Imagine listening to a great orator like Martin Luther King or a symphony or staring out at a natural landscape. There's a sense of awe, a sense of reverence. Great communicators are able to communicate in a way that gets people in touch with that present moment awareness. And in so doing, they're able to create, call people to action in a way that creates radical change.
We've been taught that, that conversation, talk is cheap, right? We hear this all the time. Well, the fact is, cheap talk is cheap. But conversation has the potential to change reality, and not only that, but if we're going to be effective in transforming global business capitalism, we're going to have to dig into a deeper understanding of what communication is, I believe, and how to use it to create real results.
The first thing I want to do is ask you a quick show of hands. How many of you have ever felt frustrated by the cynicism and apathy of the people that you meet out in the world? Just a few of you. And if your hand isn't up, you should probably come teach this, because I still run across that. Sustainability is about a lot more than just being green. Ultimately, sustainability is about redesigning our society so that it can last over time. And to do that requires that we shift our thinking. Okay, Einstein said a problem cannot be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Well, what level of consciousness created our current environmental crisis? It wasn't the material plane, it was the way we were thinking. Now, we need to shift that. How are we going to do that? That's where communication comes in. Communication is our best tool for shifting the way we look at the world and helping to call others to behave differently so that together we can create a society that truly does last.
If you think of the environmental crisis, the fact is, it's a twisted tribute to our own ability to create. We have a lot of untapped into power as communicators, but we're not going to access it unless we sort of ask the right questions. What we're undergoing now, I believe, is a shift where our language is changing, where we're able to discuss context, where we're able to really get insight into the fact that how we think about our challenges is a huge, huge factor in determining what solutions we come up with.
Sustainability is just a word, really. It doesn't mean anything if it's not followed up by concrete action. So your job as an inspirational communicator is really to get through those barriers in your audience, to get through that cynicism and that apathy that seems to be around you, and access that core in your audience in which they really do care about the world and want to make a difference. There's a researcher named Dr. Claire W. Graves who's had a tremendous impact on me. And what Dr. Graves discovered through 40 years of data collection is that there really are 7 levels of thinking or worldviews operating out there in the world today. And when a person can understand these different worldviews, these different lenses that their audiences are using to make sense of the world, they're able to systematically create communications and frame them so that they get through to the core of what their audiences care about most. And when they do that, they're able to shift thinking, and behavior change is really just a matter of time. This system that Graves put together was instrumental in helping resolve apartheid without a civil war. They took the systems of apartheid South Africa, they coded them according to these levels of thinking, and they made sure that when they removed apartheid, the people all felt like they were part of a common vision because they designed the system to speak to what they really cared about. Amazing, an amazing accomplishment. There's a lot more, but just know this framework is global. That's what's exciting about it. So in our global world, these contexts have been shown to be independent of language. Inspiration is sustained by joy. The sustainability movement has as much to do with the human heart as it has to do with measuring carbon footprints. So how do we get to a state of joy that can last? The answer is service. I have a deep admiration and respect for people who actually care about the world enough to want to make change, to want to have a larger vision. And I am very grateful that I have the opportunity to work with such people to help them be more effective in bringing their vision to fruition. And whatever my part may be, I have the ultimate confidence that we as a species will be successful when we take a breath, step back, and realize that there's no challenge that we can't overcome. And when we take the opportunity to band together in the service of something larger.
Cynicism is undigested pain. That's all it is. Great liberating communicators, of which I believe we're on the forefront of about to have a whole bunch of them. Obama's just the tip of the iceberg. But they're able to engage that, bring it into the light of day, and allow it to be gone. And once it's gone, new insights emerge spontaneously in the individual and in the society. That's my point.
Cynicism is undigested pain. Holy crap, that's really good.